Superb. Okay, so welcome everybody. Welcome to our group coaching session. We've got a fabulous guest speaker, which I'll introduce you to in a short while. And lucky for our South African crowd, he is originally from South Africa, or is an ex-South African. Yeah, but I'll tell you about him in a minute. So I wanted to get started today. I'm so happy to see that your check-in words are so positive. They really are. They are, everybody's quite excited and inquisitive and ready and amped and, you know, ready to make things happen. So I just want to go through a few little points with regards to, especially from South Africa, in response to what's happening in the marketplace at the moment, right? So when you have a look at this picture in front of you, how many of you feel like this is what it feels like that we're in at the moment? Or how many of you are fearing this kind of image, which is a storm, right? Okay, Larika's feeling like that. Nungo feels like that every day. Fayru says she feels like that. Okay, so yes, correct. Okay, that does seem to be how a lot of us are feeling at the moment. And I just want to tap into that feeling for a little bit and give you some, rechannel that energy. So instead of worrying about the storm that it feels like we're going into, or that it feels like we're currently in, because everybody's faced with a different set of circumstances right now, let's just discuss and focus our energy for a few minutes. Okay, so I did a focus sheet for you today, a little focus list of what you really should be focused on right now, this second. What should you be doing in your businesses, okay? I'm getting some background noise where I am, and I'm not 100% sure why. Okay, let's see if that will work. All right. So first of all, first question, and please everyone go into the chat box because I'd like to hear back from you with regards to these questions. Okay. Are you following your SOPs and being strict with clients? Okay, so I'm sure there the answer is yes. Here comes the next question. Have you shown clients how you have increased your hygiene and safety protocols, especially over the last 2 weeks? Okay. If you haven't, it's time to do that right now. So whether it's messages that get sent out on social media, how the shifts that you're putting your staff on, you actually need to tell clients that you're doing that. You need to give them that sense of comfort that they realize and understand that you've upped your safety measures right now, in response to the fact that we've been, you know, restricted a little bit more at this point in time. So don't be shy. It's real. Don't live in denial. The restrictions are there. And really, you need to respond. You need to respond a little bit more actively to these restrictions so that clients can see that you've noted them and that you're upping your game too from your side. Okay, so that's the first one. The second one is, are you communicating with your staff on a daily basis? But here's the important part, about how they are feeling. Okay. Are you communicating with your staff on a daily basis about how they are feeling? So to quickly touch into this, I want you to have a look at point number 5. What wellness initiatives are you running with your staff in your business right now? So I want to quickly tap into that comment. Your staff's well-being, their mental state of mind, is going to determine what energy they put out onto your clients, onto the marketplace, onto the perception of the consumer has on your business. You are in direct control of that energy. And the way that you control that energy is by checking in from a wellness perspective, how your staff are doing, and ramp up those little wellness initiatives that we've spoken about before. It might be time to send out a little wellness survey to your staff, not to your clients, check in and see how they're doing, how they're feeling about what's going on right now. Okay. Remember, everything in your business comes as a direct result of your actions. Please don't forget that. So it's not about how great your team is. It's about how great you are in leading and guiding and coaching your team. Okay. The next question is, do you have a training program in place for your staff? So I don't mean product training. I mean, for example, now we've all had to increase our sanitation and hygiene protocols and, tighten the belt a little bit. And especially with regards to how many people you're allowed to have in your business, how many staff are allowed on a specific shift. Have you trained your staff about that? Have you spoken to them about it so that they themselves can understand what it is that is going on and why is it going on and how to respond to when a client says, well, how are you feeling about this? Okay, get to them. Be in complete control of what is going on with your team. The next question is, are you asking clients for feedback? It really is time to have a survey right now. Feedback, how are they feeling? How are they doing from a health perspective? How's their businesses going? So get involved with your clients on a bit more of a personal level right now. So stop selling and start showing genuine love and care, because that is what is going to be remembered when this wave is over. Okay. The next question is, are you selling retail and lots of retail? If the answer is no, then my response to that is, well, that is your fault, because you should right now, if anything, if clients are staying home more, they're looking after their skins more. They are looking for better solutions. They're looking for more solutions, different types of solutions. If you're in South Africa, it's got very cold right now. What are you doing to respond to that? Are you offering warming bath treatments, heating up scrubs? Are you responding to those changes that are happening? Then number 7 is, are you actively focused on your online strategy? I've been on and on about this for 18 months now. If you are not selling online and you don't have an active online presence, then you need to ask yourself, why not? What has stopped you from doing this? And why is your online not its own revenue stream? Because that is exactly where it should be right now. And then last but not least, which I'm going to go into in a second, is, do you have a plan? If we get another hard lockdown, what is your plan? So can I hear from some of you? You can go into the chat box and let me know who has a hard lockdown plan. And have you involved your team in your plan? Next question. Okay. So who has a hard lockdown plan? Let me know. Let's see. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. If the words no, that's why we're here. Okay, so that I can jolt you into getting that plan into action. All right, so some crisis management tips for you right now. First and foremost is make your team feel safe. Okay, make your team feel safe. How do you make them feel safe? It's about all the protocols that you put in place, all the extra measures that you're going to start taking right now, and by telling them in those words that they are safe with you and that you're going to do everything in your power to protect them and to protect your clients and to keep that business going, okay, and keep fighting and navigating that storm. Very importantly is have a plan. Tell them that you're going to plan, or that you have a plan, and get them involved in that plan. Remember, if you call everybody together and you say, all right, let's have our brainstorm meeting. What are we going to do if there's another hard lockdown? You'll be surprised at the ideas that start coming out of that meeting. What I don't want to see happen is that you pretend that this is not happening, or that you stay in denial until it does happen, because then it's too late. You need to sit with your team now and say, right, if this happens, This is how we are going to respond, and this is what we're going to do. Consult and meet with your team regularly. At this point in time, you should be checking in on their wellness every single day. And 4, very importantly, increase the energy levels in your business, because when they leave there, life takes over, and the strains of the news and what's happening out there is very overwhelming. So how do you increase energy levels? There are so many tiny little ideas, but number 1 idea that I have for you is that music idea. Is play, even if you have to do it twice a day, once when they arrive and once when they leave. Get somebody to choose a song and get everybody involved. Put that song full blast in your business and get everybody involved in dancing, singing, just letting go, releasing those feel-good hormones. That is vitally important. You want your team to want to be at work. You want your team to support and back you. So all these little initiatives that show them that you genuinely care will come back to you in that way. So please, everybody, I'm not saying that the power of prayer, there is no merit in it or that it doesn't work. What I am saying is please don't sit back and resort to prayer as the answer to what is going on. And sit back and hope for the best and you know, just pray that everything passes quickly. Go out there and make it happen. Use your resources, use this community. Tap into any ideas that you get. I'm available at all times. You all know that. I'm on the other side of the messages. And we've ridden this wave twice before. I think you forgot about it and purposefully forgot about it. And we can ride this wave again. Where there is a difference, and I've chatted to you about this before in our coaching sessions, is we've had time to prepare for another wave. If you're not prepared, it means that you were living in denial of where this virus is going and how this pandemic is rolling out. Get to prepare and start your planning process. Not today. Today I'm going to jolt you into action. And tomorrow, make it happen. Don't waste time. Speed of implementation. Remember that. Okay. And last but not least is our word for 2021 is don't give up. Okay. Keep moving. Keep moving. Remember that the comeback is always stronger and more powerful than the setback. And don't forget that. And that will keep you going and keep you afloat. Okay. So I hope that's helped you all a little bit from me. That was a little bit of an unexpected because it's not actually my turn to talk. But I just thought, let me throw this in there. I'm getting a lot of feelings of anxiety, uncertainty, and fear coming from different people in the industry and fear of a lockdown. So for me, it's instead of living in denial and saying, well, oh my word, how will we ever do this? Well, no, let's not live in denial. Let's plan for it. Sit down with your teams before it happens and make decisions on what you're going to do and how you're going to react to it. Please, everybody, your retail needs to be up. Your online sales need to be up right now. That's what should be on the rise. So respond to people withdrawing and give them things to do at home. Give them peel packs to do. Give them pedi packs. Give them body warming packs. Just get creative, but go out there and make it happen. Okay. Super duper. Right. Kent, it's showtime. So let me quickly introduce you to Kent. He has been in the spa and health club business for over 30 years and operated facilities in more than 20 countries. Kent really understands global wellness. He was born in Zambia and he spent the first half of his years in South Africa working for the Health and Racket Clubs. I'm sure you all remember that. Those of you who are from South Africa and Virgin Active. And that was before he went over to Hong Kong. From there, he moved from health club management into the spa world 15 years ago and has been enjoying a career with many global companies before deciding to join the Six Senses Hotels Resort Spa Group as their corporate operations director of spa. He is currently in London, but he's actually based in Bangkok in Thailand, and he heads a team responsible for the operations of more than 30 spas across the globe in one of the fastest growing wellness companies in the world today. So I think that tells us that we could be hearing from nobody better at this point in time to tell us what's happening in this spa world. Where's it going? How does it look? How's everybody feeling? So welcome, Kent. The floor is yours.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Marissa and Shanae and everyone for joining today. I've actually been very much looking forward to this session because I feel like I've gone home. And just hearing Marissa's accent has made me feel welcome already. But I agree, you know, worldwide, everyone's finding it difficult with the pandemic, and it's very easy to talk about doom and gloom. But the people who are succeeding around the world and who are, you know, kind of asking what pandemic, are those that are being creative, those that are being positive. But what I'd like to do today is just really go back a few years. For me, you know, it's been very interesting to have a look at how spas have evolved and where they're going. And through the pandemic, you know, it's also providing spas a whole new platform and a whole new long list of opportunities that are coming up. So I've made quite a few notes, keeping today very informal. I'm sitting back, looking out the window in London. It's all cloudy and grey, as you'd expect. And I'm just going to go through the evolution of spas as we know it and what the next phase looks like it's going to be. Because when you look after spas, you know, from South America to Europe to Asia to Seychelles, Maldives, China, everywhere, all these cultures and countries are at different phases of development. And when you're in a company like ours, you know, our owners and our shareholders, they want revenues, they want us to be meeting targets. And even though the world is in a bit of a bad situation, we can't just shrug our shoulders and think, okay, we'll just do what we can, everybody will understand. No, they don't all understand. We need to make sure that we're still running at full potential. So whether you're on today's call as a salon owner or working for a large corporation or a large hotel company, we all know that we have got one of the most unique situations going on now, and we need to make a return either for our own pocket to cover expenses or for those employers of ours or our owners. So hopefully by the end of the session, time is going too quickly. Hopefully by the end of the session, we've had a bit of a laugh. We've all agreed on how spas are evolving, and we can see where they're going and be more prepared for the next level of development. So that is why the topic that I picked for today was evolution. And I'm just going to show a bit of a presentation. In fact, I started doing this presentation a few years ago. But after talking to Marissa and when I went back to have a look at any comparisons to previous discussions, I thought this would be a really good one to use again because it's already evolved to another level and it will give rise to many discussions that come off from there. So let me share my screen, one moment. Share screen, PowerPoint there. Okay, 1 second, there. Right, can everyone see my screen? Okay, Marissa? Good. Okay, so for me as a South African male, I matriculated in Durban, went to university to study architecture, gave that up too much hard work, went to do a BCom, and landed up working in health clubs, like Marissa mentioned, Health and Racket Club. And my first ever visit to a spa was definitely not in South Africa, because in the era, I mean, I'm in my 50s now, in the time that I was in South Africa, men didn't go to spas. women were going for their facials and all of that kind of thing, and it was just not the done thing. I went to my first spa in Hong Kong, and the first spa I went to, I actually was managing, because I worked for a health club group there called Fitness First, that had health clubs in the Mandarin Oriental and in the Sheraton and whatever. And I learned the spa business from a strategic angle, not working in them, but from a strategic angle. And then it became very clear, why weren't we going to spas in South Africa? We exposed to the sun, the weather, everything. But if I look back to when I was growing up there, when I was at university, it just was never marketed correctly. It was a lot more like the nail and spa photograph that I show on the screen, or where a beautician ran it from her converted garage, or it was a hairdressing salon for ladies that did nails and massage, that kind of thing. But when we have a look at where we are now, I have a photograph of one of our spas in Turkey. It's an ever-changing environment. And when you work around the world and you see that spas are anything that you want it to be, it's a place where you look after your market's physical well-being, mental well-being, spiritual well-being, nutrition, everything. And what is so clear when you travel around the world is you can see that no matter how big a spa or small you are, it's knowing exactly what you want to be and focusing on what you bring to the market and sticking to it. So, for a large company like Successes, we want to be a wellness spa. We're not a medical spa, and we're not a massage parlor. We are where you come because you want to improve your way of life. You want to go further down that journey of finding wellness. So, you might pop in for a massage, and then it's our staff, it's our people who need to then encourage you to go further along that pathway of trying yoga, trying meditation, seeing what else there is available in order to live your life more 100%. So we have things like the Alchemy Bar, which you can see in a photograph here, because nowadays sustainability is crucial. Maybe 5 years ago, people felt, okay, sustainability was hugging a tree, maybe don't litter, don't use plastic. But it's a lot more than that. Sustainability is wellness. It's the same thing. If we don't look after the world, how can we be talking wellness with human beings? If there's no world, then what's the point of looking after human beings? So when people are coming to a wellness spa, they want to know that you're committed to sustainability. So by having your own herb garden, by growing herbs and plants that you use in your treatments, that you use in your drinks that you offer, that is what the Alchemy Bar is about, because we have our own herb gardens. And then our guests, when they make an appointment for a massage or a facial or whatever it might be, we ask them if they could come in 20, 30 minutes earlier, and they can work with the therapist to make the products for the treatment. And that becomes a whole new experience. Everything we do is we want to be a spa where you have memorable experiences. And we know that every 5-star hotel can give you a memorable spa experience. So we look at how can we do it differently. And by our commitment to sustainability, we have these Alchemy Bars where the guests can come in beforehand and they can be part of that process of making their own product, which is great. So we all remember what spas were like, what gyms were like, and expectations today, are extreme. So I know that I'm very lucky in Successes because I've got the hotel behind me. So if a guest is coming in and has a consultation, which I'll go over now, and they have a particular dietary requirement, I can hook onto the hotel and I can get them the exact juice they want, the exact food they want, etc. But one point that is relevant for everyone today and how spas have evolved is everyone's not the same. Every guest who walks into your door has walked in for a different reason. And I'm sure in your environments, like I find in my own, guests often don't know what they want. they're not feeling like they're living their lives 100%. They're feeling burnt out. They're feeling pressured. They're feeling stressed. So somebody has said to them, go and have a massage. So they walk in and they get hopefully a bouncy, enthusiastic receptionist who says, welcome, here's the menu. What would you like today? And they read this book of poetry and they're thinking, it's not making sense in my mind. All I want is to feel better. I'll have a massage. And that is the reason why 95% of guests who come into a spa have a massage, because they're comfortable asking for it. And they're not aware of what else you have to offer, although you give them a menu as thick as anything. So what we've really worked hard on over the years, and it's had a big effect on boosting revenues and in getting repeat guests, is every guest who walks in must get a consultation. It doesn't take long. It's a case of sitting down one-on-one and asking your guest, what brought you into the spa today? What would you like to achieve by coming in today? And then hearing how they're feeling. If they're not sure what they want, asking them how they're feeling, and how long have they felt that way, their back pains, their headaches, their whatever it might be, their dry skin. And then designing what they need, designing a journey around what they need. That works out perfectly. So here, like I mentioned, I started doing this presentation quite a while ago, but already we see how consultations on couches, not going into an office where you sit behind the desk and I sit over here, get on a couch, pour a cup of ginger tea or a nice fruit juice and have a consultation. Find out what are those individual needs, and then even mix and match what you have on your menu. Make sure that your teams are trained not to think, okay, when I get a booking for item number 52 on the menu, it begins like that and it finishes like that. Yes, but for this particular guest, they've got individual needs that I need to take care of. So you work on that. Wellness doesn't need to be a frightening term. And I found ours and Six Senses when wellness started really taking off. In fact, no, I was working in Istanbul for a group of health clubs. And the owner said to me one day, hey, Kent, what is this wellness? You know, suddenly every gym is gym and wellness and every spa is spa and wellness. Exactly what is it? And I started doing research, and at that time, Six Senses had been bought by an American private equity company. And they were on every Google search you would do. And that led me to working for Six Senses. But wellness is not a frightening term. All it is making sure that your guest is living their life to the fullest, that they are in a state of being in good health, mentally, physically, and spiritually. So I'll just quickly go through our own case study to show you how we've been able to be competitive. And we'll get to talking about life, post COVID-19. But when we look at our world, half our hotels and spas were closed in 2020, but 2020 was our busiest year in signing up new projects. In 2022, we're going to open 7 new properties, but 7 new hotels, resorts, and spas all in one. We've opened already this year in Brazil. We're opening in Ibiza in July, and so it goes on. So we know that the pandemic has made everyone look into, are they really prepared for life? People who had underlying health conditions before, they found a way to live with it. It was hidden, nobody would know about it, they could live their lives. But now when you get something like COVID-19 coming across, you see that as people with underlying health conditions that are really the worst hit and the worst affected. So moving forward, more people are wanting wellness because they want to have more protection against these kind of things. So we know our guest lives in that environment and they want to come to that environment. So this photograph is our Six Senses in Seychelles. Beautiful location. And we know that people come here for that feeling. They'll look at that photograph and they'll book because they want to come and feel that, oh, I can hand over, I can connect with who I am. And we always remind our guests that it's the journey that is important. If I think back to my health club days, people walk in and they join you because they want to lose 5 kilograms before a friend's wedding, or they want to get biceps and built and whatever, but the journey's painful. Okay, when the guest comes into your spa, what is so important is to have that consultation so that you can create a journey, because who's really after that one appointment that you never see again? You want that guest to come back again and again and again. Therefore, you need to show that the journey is what counts, not just the destination and the quick fix. Not every spa needs to offer multiple layers to wellness, but you can work out which layers or which one layer you want to focus on. It might be, merely being a sensory experience where you offer wonderful spa treatments, massages and facials. You're covering smell, sound, touch, everything perfectly, and that is fine. But if you want to grow your business, then I personally would really recommend that you put more layers into your business. The second layer would be to explore. Explore would be to go for add yoga, add meditation. If I look in London here, most of the standalone spas have got a studio. So you have maybe 5, 6 treatment rooms, you have a coffee shop, a health cafe, and a studio. In that studio, they'll not only do yoga and meditation, but they'll also have painting classes. They'll have poetry readings. They'll have all these wonderful things that help you to relax, because the spa is about you, about finding how you can reconnect with who you are. You can take it further. You can have visiting practitioners. You can have fitness. You can have wellness programs. And when I talk about wellness programs, it's things like, combining the treatments with working on mindfulness and how you can really get more of a structure to your life, keep a journal. There's a whole wide variety. We've got things like Love Your Heart, boost your immune system. And under each one of those, there's not a preconceived wellness program. After the consultation, we then work out the need of the guest, and then we plan their journey under one of those headings, which is unique to them. So that's another point, to really develop those evolutionary points. Awards, Travel and Leisure, CNN Traveler, there's so many different awards around the world these days, but guests do love them, because it shows the marketplace that you are credible. It's not about, oh, I won the awards, I'm better than the spa next door. No, it's just about you were able to show what your team can do and to get recognized for it. So that's another way that we encourage, really putting yourself on the map. And then thinking about what is your mission and what are your values. Here I've got what our values are in 6 senses. And whenever we're looking at our spa and we're thinking, how can we go to the next level? How can we keep interesting to our guests? How can we want to make our guests to come back? We look back at our values and we think, right, let us reevaluate, are we living our values? So, for local sensitivity, global sensibility, when you're a global brand, it's the most fun value to have, because we're in over 20 countries worldwide. So we make sure that 40% of our menu offerings are locally inspired. Whether we're in China, it needs to come from China, or Thailand from Thailand. The products we use are 40% local and 60% internationally recognized. Fun and quirky. We don't want our team walking around saying, good day, ma'am, good day, sir. We want them to know your first name. It's a place where you can be relaxed. So it's really finding a way that helps you separate who you are from everybody else. Nature. When people come into spas, some spas are very, flashy. Chandeliers, marble, all the rest of it, and that's fine. But again, through the evolution of spas, it's created multiple categories that you can identify where you belong and where you fit in. So we know at 6 Senses, we put nature and sustainability at the core of our spa business. Therefore, we must have the alchemy bar, like I told you. We must have the herb gardens, We must be serving refreshing water infused with mint from our garden. You know, you don't just ask guests, would you like a glass of water? It's, would you like a glass of water and it has mint from the garden? It's a whole little storytelling episode to really make people know how unique you are. And like I mentioned, having fun. You know, a spa is not a library. It's not a place where you have to go around telling people to be quiet. Your foyers can be entertaining. They can be happy places. Your retail sections, Marissa speaks a lot about retail, and we have found our biggest increase in retail came when we decided to create retail lounges. So you walk into the entrance of a spa and you're in the retail shop. It's not a little room tucked down the corner. It's reception, it's nail bar, it's retail, there's music playing, it's energetic, and people go browsing and they don't even know that they're shopping because they're in this happy area. But when you go near to the treatment room, you will have these kind of signs just because it's a relaxed environment. Wellness, I've spoken about. You know, if you are going further down that journey of wellness, you want to be credible. So, you know, because we're a global brand, we felt it was really necessary to get the endorsement of quite a few well-known doctors like Dr. Oz, etc. And by working with them, our team were that much more confident in presenting our wellness packages to our guests. And we got endorsements from the Harvard Medical School, etc., etc. You know, so if you go in for anything, get that credibility behind you so people know that they really, if they're giving you an hour or if they're giving you 4 hours a month, they want to know that what you're doing is really making a difference. And when you have the endorsements of local people who are well respected or international global figures, it really does help. So just to show you who was endorsing our product, and also knowing that wellness and spa, it's always evolving. You know, we started by looking at nutrition and sleep. But now we look at kids, mindfulness, air traveling, jet lag, grow a new body, even how to use biohacking to change the way your body functions. You can go as deeply as you're prepared to go or as lightly as you're prepared to go. But know that whatever you're doing, you can't stand still because you need to create a memorable experience. You know, sound therapy, fitness, I've mentioned quite a few of these things over and over again. You're not taking on virgin active. You are doing things differently, doing things that fit into your environment, what you believe in. The consultations that we do, it's a 2-minute software program. It just shows you how the body is acting internally. But there's multiple ways that you can really do that. How you package your programs. If a person's buying a beauty program and spending thousands on that program, make it look like they bought a product. You know, here we sold a sleep program with a nice bag. It's got all goodies inside it. You go home and you show what you purchased. Bring all of that in. Here's the look of our retail lounge that we have in Portugal, for example. There's cozy couches, there's accessories, there's fashion, there's areas you can sit down and play with products, and there's an area that's very spa focused. We found that where we have 80% of our stock to be product like you would use in a treatment room, sales are never that good. Where you have 50% accessories, fashion, candles, spa items, and product, everything just goes through the roof. So that's what we've learned. And sustainability, again, you know, one of the key focus points that I've learned, not only at Successes, but all the companies I worked for, is always involve your community. Make sure that whatever area you're in, that community benefit from you being there. It might be from helping clearing up the local park, you know, adopting the park. It might be from making donations to the school. It might be from getting girls ready at an underprivileged school for their matric dances, is what I remember from South Africa. Whatever you're doing, get involved in the community because it always leads to something big in business. That sounded terrible. Get involved in the community because it helps the community, yes, definitely. But it always has a payback, which is phenomenal. Make sure that these kind of days like Global Wellness Day, World Wellness Weekend, these are perfect free opportunities to get involved in showing that you're in the neighborhood and you are there for a purpose, and that is to get your community living life to the full. Of course, we're a business. So, we have a lot of reports that we do, financial reports, and we give them fun names. We have Flash, we have the Chameleon, we have the Panther, the Eagle, all kinds of reports to make it fun to do. And we know that people are making spa careers. If I look back to when I first went to Hong Kong and I first went to work in a spa full time, people would interview me to ask, what is a man doing in spa? Nowadays, you'd never hear that question. So people are looking at spa as a career. You don't only have to be a massage therapist nowadays. You can be a trainer, you can be fitness, you can be a practitioner, you can be a yogi, you can be a chiropractor, an osteopath, anything. So it's making sure that you're recruiting people who want to build a career. We want people to stay with us because we are one of the fastest growing industries in the world. And we want to offer succession in our business. If we hire somebody, get them trained, after 2 or 3 years, they're going to want more. So making sure that we're providing the mentorship, the management diplomas, and loads of performance reviews. It's always shocking to hear about countries like Malaysia, where spas are still categorized by government as recreation. And therapists need to go for medical tests every year. I mean, it's just absurd. So it's really working with governments to recognize the industry, to recognize what we play. Whether we only do massage and facials or whether we go the whole 9 yards, we have to make sure that governments recognize that we are there as service providers and that we are doing good, that we're helping people live their lives better, which will amount to them really being healthier for longer. I can recall in Virgin Active, we were aligned with Discovery, and people got free Health Club membership depending on how often they came in. If they were members of Discovery, you could get your membership free if you came in 4 times a week. Wonderful. Why insurance companies don't do that for spas, I've got no idea. I haven't had time to go to government or any insurance companies, but it's a perfect thing to happen. We're not there only as a luxurious product. We're there for so much more. So, making sure that we're developing our teams into being business people. Well, yeah, just one way, when Marissa was talking earlier about retail, one thing we always say, because we employ people from all walks of life. It can be an islander in Maldives, it can be a Frenchman who's used to all the top spas in Paris. But we talk about retail is about caring for your guest. If a guest is coming in for a treatment and they have a treatment and they leave and they haven't bought products, have you really shown care for that guest? You spent an hour finding out their need. You spent time in working with their body and working with their face, and you let them go empty-handed. That's not delivering the full service that we're meant to offer. So caring, it's certainly not going around the retail going, oh, here I have a shampoo. Oh, here we have our conditioner. Oh, here we have another. Oh, that's as boring as all hell. Again, what we coach is it's about caring and finding out what are the guests currently using? What have we learned about you in the hour that you spent in our spa? And getting a basket and putting things in the basket and then sitting down while they're drinking their juice and saying, this is what I've selected for you. Because I've been able to get to know you and your needs, this is what you need. And this is how often you use it. I'll leave it at reception for you and they can add it to your bill. It's not putting our therapists into a difficult position like, would you like to buy this? Those words are long gone. And that just generally takes you through areas of evolution. Now, I can see that time is flying past. How am I doing, Marissa?
Mute. You're doing fine. I think you're doing fine. I've got a question or two, but I'd like to ask if anybody else wants to ask.
I saw quite a few chat messages coming, but I I
Uh,
decided to leave it and carry on.
yeah, that's fine. It's just all comments to the slides that you were showing. So
Okay.
I would like to ask you before I do.
Yeah,
Does
ask.
questions? Let's see in the chat box, or does anybody want to unmute and ask?
Yeah, let's chat.
Let's see.
I love the comments. Yeah, those are from Marissa. Great. Creating memories, very keen.
Yeah, that's
And
great.
yeah, you put Bean there. Where did you go?
So Lucia
Lucia.
comes from, she has a spa in Angola, but she's from Portugal, or she lives or has a home in.
Oh, lovely. Maybe you went to Dora Valley, Six Senses Dora Valley.
Yeah, Lucia, is that the one you went to? Let's see what she typed. So, Ken,
Ah,
yes.
good. Yeah, they've got a lot of wellness. In fact, what they've just done is they've built a whole underwater experience now. That's all sound therapy, water, colors, everything. So again, it's knowing what you want to be and really focusing in on that and getting the credibility. But please fire away questions.
Okay, so I'm going to start with a question because I know who group as well. What simple tips, entry level tips, can you give either, and they can be salons, they don't have to be spas, on how they incorporate wellness into their businesses in entry level ways? So giving us just maybe 5 or 6 little ideas on where do we get started, how do we start easily?
Sure. Okay. So I believe before you even begin talking to your client or talking to your guest, you have to first, identify who you are and what you have to offer. Okay. If you, I don't know, when you say salons, are you meaning nail bars, hair,
Or
people?
a salon that offers massage, but it's not
Okay.
so they have no water treatments. It's a salon.
Okay. Okay, sure. So it's first making sure that you know exactly what wellness is and what kind of questions you might get asked. Because the first thing that you would do when you start going in the wellness direction is you need to talk to your guests about what they hope to achieve from coming to your salon. We also have things like, and some people are comfortable doing this, some are not, but where you actually, would begin to talk about happiness. You might be, a Christian, you might be atheist, you might be anything, but everyone wants to get that happiness in their life. So I would recommend first you work with your own team and you try everything out with them and you develop as a team. You mentioned earlier, don't just do your plan on your own, involve everyone and say, right, we've got a project, we want to provide wellness services to everyone. What does that mean? And see what your team think and get them to research it. It's how we started out. And, nowadays, when I go to conferences in any part of the world, people talk wellness, but it means different things to everybody. But at the end of the day, it means developing your spirituality, your physical well-being, and your mental well-being, because then you're really going to get more out of life. So then you find out, right, what can we as a salon or a business do to help a person in their physical well-being, their mental well-being, and their spiritual well-being. And there's numerous ways that you can do that. Physical, you might, like I mentioned, have an outdoor studio. You might have a garden. You might have a rooftop. You might have something where you can just start doing stretching classes. Or you might have areas where you can go for walks. I used to find it very, very difficult to do meditation when I first joined Six Senses because it was very spiritual. And I'm a Catholic. I was brought up a Catholic. I pray to God, and they're praying to the ocean and to the trees. And I was thinking, no, this isn't me. But then I learned in my own mind of what, okay, I'm thanking God for the tree. I'm thanking God for this. And so whether you, like I said, Christian or atheist, it doesn't matter. But what you're doing is you're showing gratitude for the world around you. And by including your team and your staff, we call staff hosts, by including your hosts first and getting them to understand wellness, by doing courses, by inviting people to give you workshops, etc. That's the way to get started. Because once your whole team are together, then you will realize what your team is passionate about, and that's what you could offer through consultations.
So, Kent, let me ask you something. What about like throwing out an idea now? Because you mentioned stretching.
Yeah.
If you don't have a rooftop and an outdoor garden and a this and a that, how do you think it would be accepted? And I just thought about this now.
Yeah.
If, for example, you're about to do your nails, okay?
Mhm.
And instead of the nail technician sitting down and starting with your nails, she actually starts off by doing some neck stretches and arm stretches.
Lovely. Perfect.
I mean, how do you think that would be accepted? Do you think it might be like, oh my gosh, this is weird? Or
No, you have to create your own individuality. I mean, why not take that further? And even while they're getting the mani or the pedi, you have an exercise video on that might be focused on leg work. So while the manicure is happening, they can be doing leg exercises, you know, and it's all about research and development. It's as small as you want it to be, or as big as you want it to be. If you haven't got gardens, rooftops, whatever, that's a perfect idea. But you could also put in social activities. It could be, I don't know, your quietest day of the week might be a Monday or a Sunday. So then invite all your regular guests to bring friends and go for a walk. On the beach, anything. That is bringing wellness into your business. If you look at what Global Wellness Day is about, World Wellness Weekend and all these kind of things, they give you certain points that they define as wellness. You know, it's drinking more water, it's exercising for an hour a day, it's getting to bed by 10 p.m. So it's anything that's going to help you relax. So all those ideas would work. You don't have to have a huge facility to actually make it happen.
okay. And then one more question from me. Everybody in the community team, if you've got a question, please put it in the chat box because I'm just asking away here.
Yeah, and I've got many more notes I can talk about as well. I'm just worried about time for you, not for me. I could talk all day.
Yeah, me too. So how do you feel about treatment menus? Because you did touch on them.
Mm.
I feel quite strongly, so I don't know if you feel how I feel, that I would love to do away with them completely and not have a treatment menu at all, but personalize what is offered to the needs of the guest so that it's not, if they say I want a facial, instead of saying, well, here's the 5 facials we offer, rather saying, right, okay, well, what do you need to get out of it? And then we make a facial out of it. I mean,
Yeah.
what sense is
Okay.
with that?
Yeah, Marissa, for my part, you know, I also hate menus completely. But what I do find, it's almost like a security blanket. So if I go and I do a checklist on a spa, if I'm going to review it, and they give me a menu, I mark them down immediately because it's not what I expect. But if you have a person coming into a spa like I was back in Hong Kong, having never walked into one in South Africa, I could look at a menu and kind of act like I knew what I was booking. It was a security blanket. So, in fact, there are many things that have helped us improve our business from the pandemic. And the menu is one of them because everything's now on QR code. You know the QR codes?
Yes.
I'd like to bring this up as well because it's not right anymore to give a menu because of, you know, keeping healthier, more hygienic, everything. So you get your menu on the QR code, which means that we're forced to interact a lot more with our guests. And if they want to look at the menu, it's a simplified, summarized menu on the QR code. So they can, do you say photograph the QR code? I think, yeah, they would photograph it, they can see it, and they can book very easily from that QR code. But the other thing that I also wanted to mention, and this might be different in the countries where everyone here works, is we find our guest doesn't want to know what we've done post-pandemic. They want to come back to the environment that they knew. So yes, they know, and all spas, I'm sure, know, well, hopefully the world knows, they were clean already. You
Yes.
know, we used to sanitize already. So our message around the world has been, we welcome you back. We are still doing everything that we did before. We have taken some additional precautionary measures. And if you want to know them, here's the QR code. But we noticed that whenever we started talking to our guests about the pandemic, about, you know, cleanliness, about the mask or whatever, they were like, oh, here we go. This is all we hear around the world. They didn't want to hear it from us. They wanted to know if they wanted the information, they could get it. But we don't have signage around our spas at all about please wear a mask or wash your hands, whatever. We have got with sanitizing goodies and all the rest of it. And we have trained our team, you know, they don't wear gloves because that makes it look like a hospital. They do wear a mask, and they'll open the door with their handle, and we change, most of our doors you change into swing doors, or where we can't, you know, they open them differently. And we've avoided implementing SOPs that will damage that spa environment that the guest is really wanting. You know, many of my colleagues are saying, oh, so we must now launch touch-free, no-touch treatments. And from our part, we never did that. We said, no, if you're coming to a spa, you want to feel that touch. You want to feel that you know, that lovely penetration into your muscles, etc. But what we did as well is we revised our bath menu. So if you don't want a touch treatment, we can do a beautiful bath for you, either in, you know, we are hotel groups, so in your room, in your villa, or in the spa, so that there are other ways. There's the Theragun, you know, the Theragun goodie that vibrates like a power plate. You know, we can build that into a treatment as well. But we don't talk no touch. We don't talk anything like that, because we honestly believe that most of the world is sick and tired of hearing about the pandemic. They want security, and they can get it if they think that maybe you haven't adjusted yourself, but they don't want to go for it. So even in retail sales, it's very different now. Before you would have a tester and you could do all of that. Now, none of it. So we have one QR code per brand, where they can see the QR code, they can get the information, and we can talk about it. So we have more samples, but we don't put testers out anymore.
Okay, interesting. Well, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Does anybody have any questions? Because we've reached our hour, so unless everybody would like to ask questions, I found that very interesting.
Good, I hope you did. There was a lot to go through, and I could carry on forever. My last point then is you spoke about online marketing. And there again, we as a company don't have products available online, but where we were very lucky is we encouraged our suppliers to develop online. So if our guest wants to buy a certain brand that we stock, they can join a particular website and we still get the commission, but we don't handle the sale at all. We introduce the client, they buy the products, whatever, we get paid our commission. And for Six Senses, everyone's welcome. We've created a wellness platform. It's called At Home. And if you go to sixsenses.com, you find At Home, you sign up, and you'll be invited to workshops, all kinds of things online that you can attend.
That's awesome. Wow.
Yeah. Good.
And what's the attendance rate of those online ones?
Well, you know, we launched it only about a month ago. We used to have a big program on Facebook called At Home with Six Senses, and now we've moved it all to the online platform. And it's quite incredible. I mean, for our drumming meditation, we had 25,000 people.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
5,000 for drumming meditation. You know, now on the platform, we've gone for a variety of different topics. It's how to, you know, from improving your love relationship to improving your goal setting, everything. And we get a couple of thousand on average for everyone that book. people don't always turn up on the night, but then they can get the recording later on.
That's unbelievable. Okay.
Mm.
That's quite nice. It's something different to boost the online side of the business,
Definitely, definitely. And not only for us, but we also see it that we want to spread wellness around, it's our message. And the more people who realize the benefit of being well, and that they don't have to give up the wine, the chocolate, and the donuts. You can include that, but you need to balance it. So the more people we can get to really be interested in getting to a higher level of health in their lives, it's going to help all of us.
Brilliant. And then just to close off, Kent, the fact that I chatted a little bit in the beginning about this panic that's sort of starting to set in South Africa. Like if you had to give the business owners 3 or 4 tips of what they should do or how they should do it, or going into this heavy third wave and a possible other lockdown, what would you say to them?
Okay, well, I've got many ideas, so you're going to have to cut me short. Because remember, before the pandemic, I would be traveling 8 months of the year. And I would be going to all of our spas and interacting and engaging and observing and developing. And then overnight, that came to an end. And we would have people living in hotels and hotel resorts that were closed, so they were away from their families, or they would be at home worried about their careers, etc. So definitely during a lockdown, it's so important that you stay connected to your team. Your team need to know that you are there through thick and thin. So what we did is we had a Zoom call every week called Back Stronger, and we would have different people presenting from the team. So, 30 spas, you can imagine. We would have families at home, families in resorts everywhere, and we would pick people who hadn't had experience at presenting. It wouldn't be myself or our managers. It would be a therapist who can do Tai Chi, or it would be an attendant that can do a push-up competition, or we even had one guy in India who has started to write poems. So he did a course on poetry writing. And we had hundreds signing up every Friday, and it had no corporate link to it at all. We didn't want branding, we didn't want uniforms, we wanted nothing. It was all about staying together and coming back stronger. And you can do that on any level. If you're one salon, or if you're part of 10 or part of 20, stay connected. It's not just sending a WhatsApp message. Okay, that's okay. But make an effort and get people together, have a gathering, because then they really know that you're with them and that you are a community and you'll get through it. And then before they come back, for opening, also making sure that they know it's going to be safe. It's going to be a safe environment that they're coming back into. You're not going to put them in harm's way. You're not going to have them be exposed to the virus. So, here it's also a bit easier in a hotel environment, because every guest has been tested, and we made sure that all of our staff hosts had been tested as well. So, fine. I don't know how you'll draw the line in your business, but we added in a COVID-friendly indemnity form. So we had our normal indemnity form, but then we had just checking, and like a little cartoon character, do you have a cough? It was like 4 questions about symptoms that you may have. And if you have more than 2 of the above symptoms, sorry, please see your GP before making your appointment. Just a quick check, so that the therapist would feel that much more confident in the guests coming in. So number 1, stay connected, come back stronger, and making sure that you let your staff know as much as your guests know that you're protecting them and keeping them safe.
Nice. Okay, well, that's awesome. That's
Good.
stuff. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Pleasure.
We'll have you back anytime, please. Okay.
Good. Well, look, if anyone has questions that they didn't think of now and it rings a bell later on, you know, you can drop me a message on Facebook or wherever, LinkedIn or what else is there, Instagram or anything, that's no problem. But there's really an awful lot to try and squeeze in to SPA evolution, particularly in today's environment. But there's so much to share.
Yes, but thank you.
Everyone, the best of luck.
Oh, thank you so much. So everybody, let's get a checkout word before we say goodbye. How's everyone feeling after this? Try and find a different word to your check-in word, okay? Think carefully, inspired, excited, confident. Kent, happy to share. Yeah, that's fine. I like that confident, Shivani. Nice to have you with us. Okay, super. There is hope. Fairuz,
Oh,
there's
definitely hope. Incredible. I mean, when you have a look at how, like I said earlier, how many businesses we've got during the pandemic, there's a lot of hope.
exactly. And especially in our industry, this is the thing. The people need us. They need our touch. And that's why I'm so on about keep your energy levels up, keep your team.
Yes.
Keep your team well. Keep them, make sure they are great in their heads. And then
And Marissa, like I mentioned, doing a consultation for your guest, do consultations for your staff as well.
yes.
One-on-one with them, because they might, you know, if you walk into a meeting and say, are you all okay? Are you sure you're okay? They're not going to talk, but have, you know, every day have a sit down with one of them and a cup of tea, and they will start sharing.
Yes, exactly. Another little idea is if you don't have time to have that sit down with everybody, I have found this could work quite well, is when everybody walks in, they have to write one sentence description of how they are feeling on that day as they arrive.
Lovely, lovely.
Wrap it up in the paper and put it in a jar and the owner reads it. The owner or manager, they can very quickly get from that one sentence, or trouble here, let me go and help Marisa, or
definitely.
Oh, Kent is feeling on top of the world, I'm going to get him to help me motivate the rest of the team, you know, that kind of
No, you did right.
Super. All right, everybody.
Full of hope. Well, thank you.
Thank you so much. Have the best afternoon or day wherever you are, or morning or evening. Thank you so much, Ken. So much appreciated from us. Hey, cheers,
Thank you,
everybody.
Marissa. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.